Boom. Imagine opening your morning news, stirring your tea, and suddenly seeing a headline so wild it makes you check whether it is satire. King Charles has finally succeeded in taking Archie and Lilibet away from Meghan. Not emotionally, not symbolically, allegedly, strategically, constitutionally. And before anyone throws a tiara at the screen, breathe, because this is not a court ruling. It is not a midnight raid by Buckingham Palace guards. It is something far more fascinating, far more royal, and far more complicated. This is about power, perception, pressure, and the oldest institution in Britain quietly reminding the world that it still has teeth. Quick favor before we go any further. If you are enjoying this already, hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell. It is free, it takes a second, and it keeps you right here with us at Royal Top Stories. Thank you if you did. Now, back to the drama. Let us start with the claim itself, because words matter. No one has physically removed Archie and Lilibet from their parents. What has happened, however, is far more subtle and far more effective. King Charles has done what monarchs do best when they cannot act loudly. He has played the long game, and in royal terms, the long game is where legacies are decided and narratives quietly collapse. Here's the key point people keep missing. Archie and Lilibet are not just children, they are royal children. They are in the line of succession. That single fact changes everything. In royal history, the reigning monarch has always held an overarching constitutional interest in the upbringing, location, and protection of royal heirs. It is not something used daily, and it is certainly not something waved around in press releases, but it exists. Think of it like an ancient safety switch behind glass, rarely touched, never forgotten. Now, fast forward to the present. Prince Harry has spent years publicly attacking the institution his children are constitutionally tied to. Lawsuits, documentaries, memoirs, interviews, and endless briefings. Every move designed to distance himself from the crown while still benefiting from the glow of it. Titles for the children, security demands, royal relevance without royal responsibility. That contradiction is where the ground began to crack. Here's the transition point, because this is where it gets interesting. King Charles has not needed to confront Harry directly. He has not needed to argue with Meghan. He has simply stood still while the system did what systems do. Security decisions moved to the Home Office. Legal cases played out in court. Invitations became rare. Access became limited. And suddenly, the Sussex children were royal in title only, with no meaningful connection to the institution itself. That is the real shift. Archie and Lilibet are being absorbed back into the monarchy, not through geography, but through authority. Their titles, status, and future relevance are now anchored to the crown, not to Hollywood. Meghan may control their physical location, but King Charles controls the framework that gives those titles weight. Strip away the institution, and Duke and Duchess become expensive words with no power behind them. Now let's talk timing, because royal timing is never accidental. This quiet recalibration has happened while King Charles has been facing serious health challenges. A lesser monarch might have panicked. Instead, Charles has done what he has always done best. He has delegated, stabilized, and protected the line of succession. Prince William has stepped forward. Princess Catherine, despite her own health recovery, remains the emotional center of the monarchy. And in that stability, the Sussex narrative has started to look increasingly isolated. Here comes the next hook, because this is where public opinion enters the chat. The Sussex brand depends on conflict. Without royal tension, there is no story. Without access, there is no leverage. And without leverage, Archie and Lilibet become quietly American children with British titles that do not open doors the way they once did. That is not a punishment, that is simply reality catching up. Some commentators argue that Meghan is protecting her children from the British press. Others argue that she is protecting control. The truth likely lives somewhere in between, but what cannot be denied is this: the longer those children remain detached from royal life, the less claim their parents have to demand royal privileges. You cannot reject the institution and still expect it to fund your security, shape your narrative, and rescue your relevance. And then there's the legal shadow hovering quietly in the background. Visa questions, public admissions of past drug use, political scrutiny in the United States. None of these are convictions, none of these are conclusions, but they are pressure points, and pressure points change behavior. Suddenly, the idea of returning to the United Kingdom does not look like a victory lap. It looks complicated, it looks risky, and it looks like a situation where control could shift. This is why the idea that King Charles has taken the children resonates with people, not because it is literal, but because it feels true on a symbolic level. The crown has reclaimed authority, the Sussexes have lost momentum, and the children's royal identity is no longer being shaped by interviews and streaming deals, but by silence and distance. Let us be clear and fair here. Archie and Lilibet are innocent. They did not choose this life. They did not choose this conflict. And the tragedy in all of this is that they are growing up separated from cousins, grandparents, and a shared history that could have grounded them. That loss sits on everyone involved. But institutions survive by drawing boundaries. King Charles has drawn his. No public war, no dramatic statements, just quiet consistency. And in doing so, he has ensured that the future of the monarchy rests firmly with working royals who understand duty, restraint, and service. So when you hear that King Charles has succeeded in taking the Sussex children away from Meghan, understand what is really being said. He has taken back the narrative, he has taken back the authority, and he has reminded the world that the crown does not chase relevance, it outlasts it. This story is far from over, but one thing is clear, the monarchy has stopped reacting, and when the monarchy stops reacting, it usually means it is winning. Thank you so much for watching and for spending your time with Royal Top Stories.